always use the Salpods or the tournament word list.
Right.
And in those, that is a word. But for the official Scrabble word list, they pulled out anything they might that might be considered offensive, I guess, to people.
That's what makes me upset, because the word Jew is not offensive. It is not offensive to call someone a Jew.
Right.
You are a Jew.
Right.
And the fact that people think it's offensive is what's offensive. The fact
Well,
that
do you know? You
want
want to hear You want to hear a real kicker? Is that they pulled Jew out. They left fag in.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about.
The official Scrabble dictionary has that word in
cigarette,
it.
probably. I'm guessing. I'm assuming they're calling it a cigarette.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. But like, there's, I don't know.
I like that we went live and launched right into that.
Straight in there.
Yeah, but what's interesting? Here's what's
Welcome to your
interesting though
Bluray talk.
about the word Jew. What's funny is it is used in a pejorative context, but however, someone goes, "Don't be such a Jew," or "Why are you being such a Jew?" And I go, "Because I am one. I am a Jew." I mean, like,
you don't have a choice.
Yeah, I'm a Jew.
Like, by saying that, that's offensive. Saying, "Why are you being such a Jew?" Like, I don't say, "Why are you being such a Christian?" Well, to be fair, I do say, "Why are you being such a man?" I use that a lot. Why are you being such a man? Because
when does that come up? How does that? What's the
everything they do?
Jeff, have you met men?
You know.
Hey, not all men. ..
I was a lesbian for a long time, and I went back to men, and every day I regret it. Every single day. No, most of them are. You guys are pretty good. You guys are pretty cool. I like you guys.
I pose.
I just want to watch Steven playing Scrabble for an hour.
Forget the show, guys. We're all just going to intensely like this. Everybody has to go like this at the same time.
Wait, Steven, we got that glimpse behind the curtain, and we were all good with it. So,
I was really.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you weren't
wonderful.
scratching anything.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't like kicking the cat or something like that. It was just
something really terrible that you do.
Okay. I'm writing a scene right now. Steven's playing Scrabble on his phone. His cat crawls above the back of his thing. He gets the word wrong, and he goes, "Shit!" And the cat's tail is just right there at the wrong time. Steven grabs the cat by the tail, swings it around his head, and bashes it into the shelves. And we all witnessed this. Sorry for the violence against your cat.
There's a tiny flaw in your scene. Is that my cat doesn't have a tail?
I am so.
Did you hear that, Gandalf? He's upset.
Sorry.
He's in earshot right now. He's pretty miffed.
I am so sorry. What's the name of your cat?
Gandalf the Grey.
Gandalf, I want to apologize to you for making an assumption.
You're fired. Get out. That made me so sad.
Where's Nathan? I want to get started. He's not here.
He's a big producer now. Movie producer. He's got 20.
Yeah, he's dealing with his incredibly successful Kickstarter. I mean, to do.
Speaking of that, the reason why I wanted Nathan here is because I wanted to support it, so I made this little banner.
Oh, that's cute.
I wanted him to see it. I thought it would be a nice way to raise awareness about the movie that they're making, that we'd keep it at the bottom, but he's not here to see it. But I guess we can get started anyway. Yeah. Let me hold on. I actually have a thing. I made an outline this time.
An agenda. I did not get an agenda.
I want to be parliamentarian.
It doesn't work that way.
Could you fax it over to me, please?
No.
All
right, listen, if you can read my mind, then you can know what the agenda is. Otherwise, you're shit out of luck. Let me check one thing before we begin. Keep talking. Carry on. We're going to start. Yeah. It's never good to start until, a little time has passed anyway. So go right ahead.
As far as the words with friends rules, you can't put Jew, but what is acceptable are Hebrew letter names, like the names of the Hebrew letters as words. But Jew, not acceptable.
What the F? What the actual F?
Nazi, also not acceptable. So I feel
okay. That's weird. I don't know if the new Scrabble dictionary accepts Nazi. I know the tournament word list did. I think if my I think the official Scrabble dictionary made a bunch of dumb decisions that I'm not on board with. But if I'm going to speak in their defense, if I'm gonna leap to the defense of Scrabble as an organization, I think they don't allow the word Jew because they don't allow the capitalized
pronoun?
because it's a proper noun. And what they were allowing before, what the tournament word list allows, is the lowercase version, which is using it as a verb, which is definitely pejorative.
Jew as a verb?
Yeah.
That is very pejorative.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm just.
Do not use Jew as a verb. There's no verb for that.
Yeah. I don't.
Now let me ask you this. What about to my fellow Jewish colleague here? Is it okay? Is Jewy amongst Jews okay? How do you feel about
anything amongst Jews is fine, just like as I assume the N-word is okay amongst people who are allowed to use that word. I am not one of them. So for me, I feel like it's okay if it's between two of the same. If you're talking about your own thing with someone of your own thing, whatever you want.
I got you.
But you have to be good in front of company and your family. You can flirt in each other's faces, but when there's people over for dinner, you gotta be nice, polite, and not tell everyone how crappy your family is.
I find as a Jew, I have often used Jewy from time to time to other Jews. We say Jewy.
So what did you mean the last time you used the word?
Me?
No, Jeff.
Yeah, what did you mean?
What, when I said Jewy?
Yeah. The last time
I would just, I honestly, literally he's kind of Jewy, just kind of like that. It's just sort of like this, you know what it is? Because there's many different types of Jews. And, instead of for instance, if I was describing someone like myself, a New York neurotic bagel Jew, that's how I vet, like a Larry David Jew. I wouldn't necessarily say Larry David Jew. I would say Jewy. I'd be like, he's kind of Jewy a little bit, but I would say it in a way, to a fellow Jew that trust me, it works. It makes sense. I don't want to normalize it, but
like Jerry Seinfeld is kind of Jewy.
Very Jewy.
I get it.
There's an episode of The West Wing where Toby and Josh are having an argument, and Toby says, there's the New York Jews have a name for you Connecticut Jews. It's called Presbyterians.
That's kind of
like Reformed Jews. Reformed Jews are Presbyterians.
Kind of true. I like that. That makes sense. All right, we are starting.
Nathan's like, why are we talking about Jews while my tags, my logo is running along the bottom?
The only thing we could talk about from here on out is Nathan's beard and how it is our new master, our new lord.
All hail the beard.
It's getting big. I haven't had this big in a long time. So
that's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
But
Sorry.
The reason why we have
for posting that link too. That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool. Thought we would leave that running at the bottom to raise awareness about the project. And additionally, I just wanted to, we'll just say at the beginning before we start, that was going to be one of my things, because I just thought it would be a nice way to support indie horror, because that's something that I like to champion. And so real quick, I'm just, before we get, that's why I was waiting. We're going to do a slight little spiel. For those of you not aware, Genre Blast Film Festival has turned into Genre Blast Films as well, or has grown into this sort of thing. And they're making a feature-length anthology horror film. One of my favorite things in the world. I love this stuff. I love anthologies. I can't get enough of them, which is why I feel so passionate about it. And I think it's really great. So I figured we would just take a look. We have our very own Nathan in the house who provided the voiceover for this little thing. You should be able to hear this, guys. Wait, no, you can't hear it because, oh crap, my screen is too small for this. Why? What? Wait, am I in trouble? Wait, what? What?
Do you want me to just go?
No.
Just
no. I please, no. Just let me do my thing. Hold on one second.
God, Nathan, get off his dick.
Jesus Christ, Nate.
I can perform on command.
Oh my God, just unbelievable. Hold on. As us Jews say, the chutzpah. No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. Hold on. All right. This, you should be able to hear the sound. So this is just a teaser. Again, the link is down below, and here it is in the comments. So, oh no, that's not the right link. Whatever. Anyway, here it is.
Haley Piper, Patrick Lacey, S.E. Howard, Waylon Jordan, and Jeremy Herbert. 5 acclaimed authors of horror and dark fiction. Their twisted tales appeared in the acclaimed horror anthology Worst Laid Plans from Grindhouse Press. Now, their tales of vacation terror are coming to the big screen in a feature film adaptation from Genre Blast Films. 5 acclaimed genre filmmakers will bring these stories to life. Samantha Koyesnik, John Hale, Vanessa Yonta-Wright, Michael Escobedo, and Jeremy Herbert. Worst Laid Plans. Now crowdfunding on Indiegogo. This is one vacation you'll be dying to take.
No.
I didn't do any of the video stuff. I just did the voice. So
That was Vanessa, right?
That was Vanessa. Yeah, she did great.
Yeah, she did a great job. Yeah. She did great. And here it is. This is the Indiegogo. Where are you guys? You're at, oh my God, you're almost at 20K.
I know.
Look at that.
Wow.
Phenomenal. So you can support this thing. There's a whole spiel here. I'll put it on the thing.
This
And
shit
with
is
that-
fantastic.
Yeah, man. And it's wonderful. I'm very happy for you guys. I think it's great.
We're
Support.
very bowled over by the support from everybody. So very appreciative. We're still pinching ourselves. So very excited about the response so far.
What does that look like when you pinch yourself when something good is happening? Do you just literally just go like what body part do you do? Just
I do it right on the nose and I go, oh, why am I doing this to
Yeah,
myself?
is there a sound that gets made like a
I just made it.
squeal or
It's like
just
a clown horn. Oh my God.
I play the Bare Naked Lady song in the background too when I do it.
Which one? Which one?
Pinch Me.
Oh, pinch
Pinch
me.
Me.
Oh crap. I'm embarrassed that I was thinking of 1 week.
It's not something to be embarrassed about.
I didn't know they made 2 songs, so
You know that song Alcohol on that album, whatever that hit album is, that is a phenomenal song. I just want to say that. Truly.
I like The Old Apartment just because I was a kid when I heard that song. It was it's a fun song, but I can't do 1 week anymore. I mean, that's like torture.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That's a fun one right there. So, welcome to the show, everybody. We have everybody here. We did we supported indie horror at the beginning.
Thank you.
Does anybody else? What else do we have going on before we launch in? We have besides Genre Blast Film Festival is accepting submissions, but so is Sick and Wrong. Am I correct on that? Sick and Wrong?
no.
No. Okay, never mind.
Don't
May.
send me anything.
May. And Brian, what about the New York City Horror Festival thing? What's going on with that?
Yeah, we've been open for a month now, so we've been getting some pretty good early bird stuff. So yeah, we're open now until I believe September. So get your stuff in, scripts, films.
Put that link in the
features.
comments. Put the link in the comments so I can show it up on the thing. If you got it.
Okay.
Yeah, do that. Tim, what do you got going on?
I'm mostly just working on some scripts right now. We're still, it's, hold on. It is 11 degrees outside and snowing as it has been for weeks now. So, I'm in Arctic lockdown mode. I'm just working on writing at this point. Working on like collaborating on a screenplay, which is new. So that's exciting. Little frightening, but we'll see how it goes.
It was
And
85 to hear.
What do
But
you got going on?
Anyone that wants to send me their personal home videos, I will watch them. No, I don't have a festival, but I am supposedly, and I say supposedly because I still haven't even fully committed to this, Sunday doing a Valentine's Day trivia game that will be streamed live. We have Lisa Ovia as the director of Puppet Killers, Shane Michael, Michael J. Epstein,
Beautiful.
Kamika Hartford, and a new guy, Peter LaLouche, that I have not met before, but he really liked Boo, and I said, okay, then you can be on. You can be on. So we're doing that Sunday, and I'm writing a lot, and hopefully we'll have a Boo feature in a year.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm scared.
I wish it
I
was
am
in time
scared.
for Genre Bus, but and all of them, and New York City Horror, but it's not going to be. And I'm never sick and wrong enough for Steven, so I've just given up. I'm just not sick and wrong enough. I just can't. I can't do it.
It's not a character flaw, I promise.
I just want to say that, I saw that Psycho Gorman, was put out. Yeah, Gorman, Psycho Gorman was put out.
I need to like turn it into a name, Gorman, like
Gorman. Yeah, that's how I think of it. Hi, I'm
Gorman.
Psycho Gorman. Just something like that. But I haven't seen it yet, and I rarely do this. But sometimes when a release is so tasty looking, I just do the blind buy, which is like I used to do the blind buy all the time back when physical media was all there was. But in the age of streaming, I've become a lot more selective with that. Especially, it makes you more lazy to do a blind buy when you go, oh, it's going to be on Shudder if I just wait long enough. But I pulled the trigger. I could not resist the trading cards, and I just have a feeling I'm going to love it. Everybody tells me I'm going to love it. Some of you told me I'd love it, so I bought it. Yeah, good.
I hedged with my recommendation. I'm really squirrely about giving anybody recommendations for anything anymore, because everything's so subjective. Like taste is so subjective, obviously. That I don't know. I love Howard the Duck and Sallow, so like you don't take.
You know what I did watch, Steven, based on your recommendation? I did watch Animals Anonymous.
Oh, Anonymous Animals.
Anonymous Animals, and which is very similar to The Farm, which it was on Prime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's still on Prime. Very violent, disturbing film that sort of a lot more. I'd say it's the exploitation version of Anonymous Animals, and that was fun. And one last question I want to ask all you guys before we launch into our show and tell picks. 88 Films is putting out Mystery Men, one of my favorite films. I love Mystery Men, and I'm not sure if I should buy it though.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there a distributor called 88, like the two numeral 8s?
Yeah.
Oh,
and they're not.
Nazi thing.
That's like a Nazi thing. Yeah.
It is. I don't know. It's just a distributor that I've always seen out there, and they put out a lot of titles. It's called 88 Films. I didn't even think about that.
I don't.
I'm hoping they didn't think about it either.
Right, maybe they don't know either, and they just randomly were like, I really liked 1988, so I'm going with that.
Somebody's a piano player or something. I don't know. Hopefully.
Infinity. I mean, you guys have never heard of 88 Films?
Yes, I know.
They're a genre boutique label.
Yep.
Oh,
guys,
I call that a genre.
You're turning something so innocent into something so insidious and nefarious. And look, it says the site can't be reached. Why is that?
Dun, dun, dun.
Why is that? Now we have to find out. Mystery Men, 88 Films.
You mean Mystery Men, the Janine Garofalo, William H. Macy, Ben
Hell
Still?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm into that movie. It's been a while.
In that movie?
I'm into
that movie. If you're in that movie, I need to know what superhero you were, because that's awesome. So look, you tell me. Does this look like? Is this some sort of secret neo-Nazi? I mean, what is like? It's
got a very stark design aesthetic.
I mean, here's the front. I don't know.
That was a good fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, JCVD.
I have not seen it.
Oh yeah, JCVD is great.
Oh, it's so good.
So fucking good.
So they just put out.
That Double Team is. Oh man, that's
Circuit 2. Oh god.
Street Fighter. They got the whole
Grandmother's House.
That's a good movie.
Vinegar
Syndrome has that though.
Okay, they do have the apostrophe.
So this is
overseas.
This is an English label.
Okay, so maybe 88 doesn't mean in the UK what it means among American Nazis.
They're just like, that's preposterous or something. I don't know.
Okay, so this is nobody knows this. I have a deep I'm sorry, I'm halfway through my bourbon right now. So I read a book one time called Smudgy in Monsterland. And this was a million years ago when I first started reading books on Kindle. So there's a book on the Amazon Kindle store called Smudgy in Monsterland. And I have to warn you, before when I looked at it back then, 20 million years ago, it desperately needed a copy editor. I think it's been copy edited a couple times since then, but it was like in gross need of a copy editor. Anyway, the point is, it's about a far, far future. It's kind of a science fiction-y kind of thing, a real grim book set in a far, far future where like Disneyland and like, okay, let me get this right. It's like the Nazis won and Disneyland, like eventually they kind of folded paths together, and the world is now this like amalgamation of Nazi Disneyland. So that's what I just thought. I don't know why.
This is it right here.
What is that?
That's Smudgy in Monsterland.
Yep.
Look at that.
That looks right. Yeah, it's a fucking bizarre book. I really dug the one with the pentagram is the one. Anyway, I was thinking about this. I don't know why I was thinking about this. Oh shit! I gotta plug my computer in. Wow, I don't even want to like say out loud why I was thinking about this.
Then maybe you shouldn't, Steven.
Let's just
maybe you shouldn't.
Maybe just hold that in. I don't know.
I'm sorry. My lips are a little loosened right now.
All right, we're starting right now. So we're going to start our thing. So this is the way it works: the show and tell, the Blu-ray show and tell. We each have a Blu-ray, and that
or
we
DVD,
picked,
because some
or
of us
DVD.
are still working on our Blu-ray collection.
Listen, we don't judge here. We don't
Well,
judge everybody.
Maybe not out loud.
I don't know. Is Bob watching again? Because if so, then there will probably be judgment.
Actually,
Yeah.
nobody is watching at the moment.
Even better.
No. People will join in later. You got to give it. Let it populate. Give it some time.
I'll post a picture of us. People like seeing boxes of people's faces. Fine.
Yeah, that's true. That's always fun. If I had the right version, we could do both Facebook and YouTube, but I don't. So we know how to play now because I went the first time. So who wants to go first this time? I'm not gonna. I can wait. Who wants to go first?
Came late last time, so if you guys want to throw me on the burner first, I can deal. Unless anybody else is super eager.
Go right ahead.
Go for it.
Go.
So I got a Blu-ray, and it's not as the packaging is not as gorgeous as the packaging for the Greasy Strangler, and in fact, the packaging is basically nondescript because is like unimpressive because there's nothing inside here. It's a nice painting up front, but I picked it for its contents. I brought, and maybe I'm cheating because it's a TV show.
Oh my god!
Or sort of a TV show.
I just saw that today on Diabolic.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I just got this from like Amazon. This is a Kino Lorber Blu-ray. I love how it says copyright 2015 when all the things were shot in 2018. Anyway, whatever. So this is Divorced Dad. In case anybody never saw, it was a YouTube show, a short-lived YouTube show put together by a group called Astron 6. And if you don't know who Astron 6 is, Jesus fucking Christ, get on it right now. It's incredible.
Wait, what else have they done? Because the name is super familiar.
They did The Editor, Father's Day.
Yes. Okay.
Manborg.
Yes.
Manborg was incredible.
Yes, I know who they are.
Psycho Gorman.
Psycho. Steve Kostansky, who
Partially.
was a member. Yeah. Same thing with The Void. He directed The Void as well. Or did Jeremy Gillespie direct The Void?
I know.
No, they both directed The Void, and then Stephen Kostansky just directed Psycho Gorman.
So this was the premise of it is it's a, I don't know, do I do the in-depth and do I do the why now or what?
No, go into that. We're going to do cross-talk afterwards so we can talk about each other's releases or just it'll go into general conversation. Go ahead.
The premise of Divorced Dad is that a divorced dad, the titular, and I like saying titular, divorced dad, is running like a public access show. And like, I know that's an SNL setup. That's a premise that you see in every sketch comedy show, but this definitely has the Astron 6 feel because it goes from being like slapsticky kind of Tim Eric-y sort of anti-humor into weird existential gory strangeness.
What?
They have one of the episodes, it was a YouTube show, and they got kicked off YouTube because one of the episodes, the poor flustered divorced dad running the show ostensibly raised money for a charity he thought was called My Sis, that raised money for like a big sister program, only it turned out he was wrong. And so it wasn't exactly My Sis that he was raising money for. I'm just going to leave it at that.
My God.
And that's how they got kicked off of YouTube. There's two things that I particularly love about this Blu-ray. One is that it's a fucking Blu-ray, even though 95% of the video is like low res, degraded, public access Betamax tape footage resolution. It's gorgeous. The other thing I love about it is that it contains a short film called Chow Boys, which was the last Astron 6 film, which is not only an incredible fucking movie, but it's close to my heart because we had it at Sick and Wrong.
Nice.
And that makes me happy. Anyway.
I got it. Now I got to check this out.
It's hilarious, Jeff. You'll love it.
I'm going to check that out. That was great.
I watched the whole thing tonight, like over dinner. I made Jen sit with me, and we went through the whole Blu-ray. And,
don't you love hostage watches when you just like make someone sit down? And then here's the worst part: you say, "Hey, oh my God, you're gonna love this." You want them to like sit down with you and watch it, and then you know what they do? They either look on their phone or they get up to like go to the bathroom or like move away. They're like, you don't like the movie.
Jen is special because she didn't look at her phone once the entire time. But what she does do is sits there in stony silence the entire time. I'm laughing my ass off, and she's just sitting there like. And afterwards, I'm like, "Did you hate that?" She's like, "No, it was really funny." And I'm like, "I don't believe you."
You didn't even laugh.
Mary's the same
Why
way.
didn't you laugh? Why didn't you laugh?
Why didn't you laugh? Why
If it
didn't
was
you
funny,
laugh?
you should have laughed.
She says she did, but I don't.
Ja.
All right.
Okay. Who's next? Who's up?
I could go.
All right.
This was a tough one because I was trying to decide again, kind of like Steven, am I going to go for like wild, like amazing packaging, or am I going to go for something? And I went with something a little close to my heart. Still quality, a quality package that they put together. I picked my favorite Joe Dante movie, which is Matinee. I mean, it's either this or Gremlins 2, because Gremlins 2 has
everything, literally everything.
Yeah, anything you'd want, including the moment that I keep forgetting is in the movie when the movie stops, falls apart, and Hulk Hogan has to like rein everybody in. I saw that at a sci-fi movie marathon, and I hadn't seen the movie in years, and that plays in the theater so well. It's amazing. Anyway, so yeah, Matinee. I really enjoy the Shout Select pack. I mean, this came out, I think, last year, the year before, and otherwise it was this sort of like crummy.
2 years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, a couple of years ago. Otherwise, it's just that like crummy disc where it's like, it's the movie. Enjoy it. There's scene selection. There's 6 of them. Yeah, but I mean, I love this movie. I love the care that he put into just recreating a 1950s monster movie. And then, of course, as you might expect as a special feature, you can just watch that 1950s monster movie, you know, everything that they put together. I mean, it's not feature length, but it's a decent
It's like 24 minutes.
Assemblage. Yeah, it's of decent quantity. And then of course they go into the making of that, and it's just a delight. If you have not seen this, it is just a delightful movie. I mean, I think most filmmakers, I have that like soft spot in my heart for movies about people who make movies, but that's almost tangential to the enjoyment of this film. It's just, you know, it's about film. It's about enjoying film. I love John Goodman's speech that he gives in here, where he talks about like the magic of going into a movie theater. It's just a delight. And then also how much he personifies the hucksterism of like William Castle of, man never met a gimmick he wouldn't, try. This is a goddamn delight. And if you don't own this, you should. And if you've never seen it, then that's a horrible, horrible crime that you need to remedy. It's good for the whole family. And it teaches you about the importance of, all the food groups, i.e. having red meat for 3 meals a day. Because it's set in the 50s, so that's what they're teaching those kids. So
it is what a phenomenal pick, truly.
It's fun. Truly. It's just so fun.
Yeah.
That said, I will never throw Gremlins 2 under the bus. That is
love Gremlins 2.
Perfection. So.
And who's seen the Key and Peele sketch, which is like one of just just the best thing ever, where they're just like, and Joe Dante actually somewhere online was like, yeah, that's kind of how it went. Like literally like confirmed.
Get back to watching Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Wow, Key and Peele's so great.
It's always a delight.
Such a delight. That's great. That's great, Tim. Thank you. Who?
I'll go. I want to get it over with.
Yeah.
I always do like the pop stuff, the stuff that not the weird stuff. The weird stuff that only you people have heard of. Okay.
There's my tailless cat, by the way. He just jumped.
Hey.
Where is he?
Hey.
He's back there. He doesn't.
Hey,
he doesn't like laps. He refuses to lap.
Oh, I just finally got mine to sit on my lap, but she doesn't stay too long. They're so cute. I love cats. Okay, so I hope we're doing this at least one more time because I saved something else. I wanted to rewatch it before I presented it. It's been a while, and the third one I have is amazing. But anyway, this one is my favorite movie. Has one of my favorite movies, and it's my first experience in a theater that I can remember, at least. And it is the Back to the Future trilogy, because every single one of these movies is gold, and I love them, and they're perfect, especially the first one. The script is perfect. The story is perfect. Everything is perfect about it. Even the fact that they replaced Marty was perfect. God, it didn't come out with what's his face. I hate him.
Eric Stoltz.
Yes, and I've auditioned for him a couple of times, and he is a weird dude. And he told me I auditioned for him. He was directing an episode of Glee, and I auditioned for Glee. And I did the scene, and he goes, "Okay, now can you do it again and not move your eyebrows so much?" And I was like, "You don't want me to move my eyebrows?" And he goes, "Yes, you're moving your eyebrows just way too much. It's very distracting." And I said, "Okay." So I did the scene like this. I was like talking like this without moving my face because I didn't want to do that. And he goes, "Okay, but don't do it like a robot." And I was like, "Okay, but if you want me to express myself, my face is gonna move. I don't know what to tell you." And then, a year, I didn't get the part. Funny, weird. And then a year later, I auditioned for him for a movie, and I was like, "Hi, do you remember me? You told me not to move my eyebrows so much." And he goes, "I do not remember that." And I was like, "That's okay." And I was waiting, what's it going to be this time? And I did the scene. He's like, "That was great." And I was like, "Wow." And then he looks at my resume and he goes, "The font on this is really small. I think that you should have some."
Is this a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode?
I'm telling you. I was like, what does this guy have against me? I don't know why he Anyway, so I hate him. And no, I don't hate him, but I'm glad he wasn't in this movie because Michael J. Fox is the most perfect human being on the planet. And I love Family Ties and I love Back to the Future. But anyway, it has lots of special features. The only thing that's missing from this is the quarantine Back to the Future project that I participated in that Taylor Morden did. And Vincent DeSanti and I made a segment of it. And we worked really hard with our little puppets to do a Back to the Future 2 scene. And we did all the voices. And if that was on here, it would make it perfect.
Where can we see it? Why can't we see that?
You can. I have to when someone else is going, I'll look up the link. I can't remember what it's called now. Project 88. Oh! But this is because of 88 miles an hour. Okay, that's a different 88.
88.
Oh my God, Zemeckis.
88. You said 88.
But there's a reason. Now, why
The two Jews saying 88.
I know, but why is it in the script that it's 88? I don't know. Like, why does it have to be 88 miles an hour? It was made in 84, I think, and then showed in 86, 85. Anyway, it was the first movie I saw in a theater. I remember at the end, it was over, and I felt it did not say to be continued in the theater, by the way. And so I just thought, you're just going to leave it on, he comes back, it's your kids, Marty, it's your kids. Then they leave and it's like over. And I remember saying to my aunt who took me, I was like, why would they just end it like that? Why would they? We don't know what's going to happen to them. I was 6 years old and very confused. So, and then 2 years later, I think it was like 2 years later that 2 came out. And I was so excited. And then I saw it to be continued at the end of 2. And I was like, oh man, this is amazing. And everyone shits on 3, but honestly, it's
like
just
3.
as the rest of them.
Three's a good time.
They're all great in their own way.
They are. They all have their own thing. And I just love how they connect them all. I love the time traveling. I love the fact that it's like the same town over all these years. And one day I'm going to write a time travel movie one day, but I don't know. It seems very difficult because if you want to talk about holes in your story, there are going to be a lot of them with time travel, no matter what you do.
Can I make a recommendation that
Yes.
you watch? You have to watch Chrono Crimes, or also known as Time Crimes. By Nacho.
Greg Sisko told me to watch that.
Yeah, Nacho. I can't pronounce his last name, but Nacho directed that. It's his first film.
Bigalando.
Yeah, thank you.
Right?
I think it's hilarious that Nathan gave like a perfectly parent answer a minute ago. They're each great in their own way.
In their
That
own
was a
way.
very parent answer.
It was
That's
a very
like
diplomatic answer.
You have to be very cognizant of the affection you give your own children. It has to be given out in equal measure, or you're going to fuck them up for life.
It's true, though. My parents did not get that memo. No.
oh yeah, my dad used to pit my brother and I against each other for his love, and it was awesome.
I was the oldest I got played. But yes, anything time travel, send my way because I've watched a million times. I don't know. Anything time travel, even if it's a bad movie, if it has time travel in it, it's good to me. It doesn't matter, even if it's bad time travel.
I love Looper. I don't know about you, but that's one of my favorite movies.
That's
It's so cool.
Spoilers. Wait.
Which one?
Who's not seen Looper?
I've seen it.
Everybody's seen Looper?
Yeah.
Literally everyone.
Okay, spoilers. I love Looper. I love Looper until we get to the cornfields.
Yeah, the end could have been tightened up. Like, could have been super tightened up. It was.
I didn't like where it went. I mean, I like it. Overall, I've liked it. I've rewatched it a bunch of times, but it always takes a dip for me. I always feel I want it to be more than what we got, and that's just as of movie viewer, it just didn't go there for me. I do like
it dark, so I appreciated it. The dark turn it took, especially Bruce Willis's
very
character.
dark.
That was some hardcore shit for him to do at the end of that movie, and I appreciate it.
Now I want to rewatch it because I have zero memory, and every time I watch a movie, it's the first time. I just saw Coming to America for the first time, and it was wonderful. It was so good. It was still good. I have to watch it again. There's another one on Netflix, and it's called See You Yesterday.
Oh, is that good?
It's these 2 black teenagers who invent a time travel machine that looks like a jetpack almost. And it starts out as kind of like a fun, almost Nickelodeon-esque type of movie. And then all of a sudden it gets super dark and super real. And there's like there's a police killing, and then they have to fix that. And it's really well done.
Is it shot like Chronicles, like handheld and all that stuff?
I think so.
I think I saw that in the theaters. It was not bad.
Wait, what is that? Wait,
it's called See You Yesterday, I think. I can't remember the
something like that. Yeah.
director.
Not Chronicle, Project. What's the project movie that involves? something that involves time travel, and it's kind of like Chronicle-esque. It's
are you talking about like you're going way back now to like the Philadelphia experiment? No,
it's like 2012 around there.
Project X? No, that was about like a party.
Just a party, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Well, wait, it's Brian.
I don't know. A kid goes back in time. But what I wanted to say about time crimes, chrono crimes, or whatever, without spoiling anything, it is. I think the script, and I've only seen it once, and I saw it many years ago. But the thing that I just remember the script being so like phenomenal, like truly phenomenal. Like the story is so like tightly packed, like it's just perfect, and I think I need to revisit it as well. Check out Time Crimes. Really great.
I want to. I feel like, I mean, I have a hard time writing scripts as it is, but I feel like time travel scripts have to be like extra hard for just that extra layer of creating the rules and then actually following the rules and closing up any loopholes. And it must be really, really hard.
which is why Time Crimes, I just really think they just crush it. They crushed it.
I will.
Back to the Future. Back to the Future crushes it too.
Time Cop is the best Time Cop.
Time Cop.
Ron Silver should have been nominated for an Academy Award.
Real fast, in the chat, Ellison Giussino said that Looper had him thinking that The Last Jedi would be a little bit better, and that's I just want to comment on that because these are all Rian Johnson movies. I haven't seen Last Jedi, however. I loved Brick. Brick was fucking amazing. That's Rian Johnson's first feature.
Brick was awesome. Yeah.
And then the next one was The Brothers Bloom, and I wanted to punch that movie in the face over and over and over. So Rian Johnson,
I understand that feeling. I couldn't have been more hyped up. I'm like, I am so amped for this movie. The trailer looks great. Look at that cast. I loved Brick, and that.
And what the fuck? What is that shit? Oh, it was awful.
Yeah.
I like The Last Jedi. I didn't care for the other two, so maybe that says something about me. But
oh my god,
I enjoyed that one. Honestly,
I didn't love it, but I thought it was the best of the three. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the last Star Wars movie I saw was Force Awakens, and that wasn't a statement. I just like.
I mean, you're not missing anything. I think you're okay. You're good.
I time traveled, you guys. I time traveled. I was 5 minutes in the future.
What? How did that happen?
So well.
Oh my god. I just want to hold on. Wait. I just want to jump back to Eric Stoltz for 1 second. This is so Monday morning armchair quarterback, but I have to say this. I'd be remiss. 2 things you could have done with Eric Stoltz in those situations. First thing, taken a large syringe needle and stabbed him in the heart with it. True. That's one. Right. That's the first thing you could have done.
For my other favorite movie, yes.
Which you should carry on your person at all times in case you encounter Eric Stoltz.
Always.
And you see him and you say, Eric, just 1 second. And then you pull out this large threat. Bam! Right in the chest. The second thing with the eyebrow thing. This is okay. I know that this is Monday morning armchair quarterback talk, meaning like coulda, woulda, shoulda. Didn't have the foresight to think about this in the moment because you're in the middle of an audition. But this is what I would have done if I was you. If I was in your shoes, he said, "Don't use your eyebrows." I would have gone like this. Okay, and then I would have taken a electric buzzer out of my pocket, and I just would have gone like this.
Yes, and then I wouldn't have any other auditions.
And then I don't know what the dialogue was, but you'd just be like this, like, the oatmeal was really cold and bland.
I will never forget it. I just will never forget it. I was like, I don't know how you want me to talk without moving my eyebrows. It's just not possible. It's not possible. They're on my face.
Ben Stiller never acts above his eyeballs. This whole part of him is frozen solid when he's acting, and it is fucking disconcerting. It is upsetting. Move your eyebrows more. Here. Yeah,
my brother's favorite movie is Along Came Polly, by the way.
Oh,
and so much so that he actually calls it ACP.
Oh,
He's
who
like,
doesn't call it
another thing that I
ACP?
love in ACP is like.
Is that where Philip Seymour Hoffman does the Jesus Christ Superstar routine in that movie?
He is in that
That
movie.
shit is hilarious.
He is in that movie.
I don't remember that.
I think
movie.
that's that.
It's not Duplex either, which is another Ben Stiller.
Oh, that one's
comedy.
not good.
No, it's with Jennifer Aniston, and there's a ferret.
Yeah.
ACP, Long Cape Poly.
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman plays his best friend, and he's doing a
He's the
stage.
pizza dab, or he takes Ben Stiller's pizza grease.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I
But he's
remember.
putting on like a thing for Jesus Christ Superstar, like a revival, and that scene is hysterical. Like it's alone. The rest of the movie sucks, but that part is funny.
Everything that man did was just perfect. Perfect. Just what a shame. Whatever. Happiness still one of my favorites.
Oh my God! Wait, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Great, so great in Boogie Nights. So great in every. But Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, he's great.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned Happiness. Jesus Christ.
My Boyfriend's Back. He's great as the guy who gets his stomach eaten out.
Son of a Woman. He's a great douchebag in that one.
Oh yeah, he's a real piece of shit in Son of a Woman.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like in Boogie Nights, he's always sweating. Like I just don't know if they were like making him sweaty or he just like is always sweaty. Like he was sweating in every scene. I mean, sweating.
It's such a great touch.
Sweating.
It's a great touch though, because he's sweating for Mark Wahlberg.
He's just sweating. I mean, it's just like pouring out of him. That's all I could think about him.
Beautiful.
It's just like sweating buckets.
Idiot.
By the way, the chemistry and relationship between Mark Wahlberg and John C. Reilly in Boogie Nights is amazing.
Are you guys? So any of you
You got the touch.
theater people?
Theater?
So yeah, John C. Reilly and Philip Seymour Hoffman did a play, and I never saw it, but they would go each night. It was a play about two men, and each night they would swap roles.
Oh, that's so cool.
And fuck, I gotta Google that. It's all.
Listen, hold on. I'm gonna throw us back on track because we're gonna keep derailing. But I love this conversation. It's a wonderful conversation. Who is next, Nathan or Brian?
I'll go.
All right, Nathan is up.
So this is kind of a three-parter. I pulled out everything for this movie, so to show you how much of a nerd I am for this movie. I am not a huge slasher fan. That's probably my least favorite subgenre of horror films. So for it to tickle my nipples, you have to like really be super stylish or come up with an original script. So I think this is one of the best remakes of all time, and it's Frank Calhoun's Maniac. And for me, this is one of the best remakes ever. And the original is a classic, but I don't want to compare them. I think that's silly when people do that, but I think this movie just kicks so much ass. And the cover from IFC, that's the best cover. I kind of flipped it and reversed it, but it's got a reversible cover, and that's the other side with the good old Elijah Wood. And it's got a really cool little insert. It's got a little review from Bloody Disgusting in the insert. So it's got the whole review, and it says, you can see that a modern horror classic, not for the faint of heart, which is kind of cool. I like that. And it's got the whole review there. And it's got the poster art, which I'm still trying to get a poster of this. It's got the best art for the movie with Elijah Wood in the mirror there and the blood in the room. It's a really cool poster. And so, yeah, I like that. It's a simple little dealio from IFC Midnight. And love it. Saw it at a film festival. I can't remember which one, but I couldn't wait to come out and buy it. And I bought that. And then I bought the VHS from Mondo. Which is awesome.
Nice.
Scene where he's scalping the girl in her bedroom, which is the one scene that you see Elijah Wood's face, and it's an amazing shot.
Wow.
And, it's a really cool cover from Mondo. They always do great stuff. Wasn't cheap, but it was worth it. And so it's got a cool clamshell cover. So I love buying stuff from Mondo. I give them all my money.
I love videotapes. I really love VHS tapes.
I love and hate them.
They're great collectibles.
Yes, they're great collectibles, but I hate them because they don't. I mean, they last, but you know what I mean. They're just
they're not
so
going to
fragile.
as long as
absolutely.
Yeah.
They're
I also
fragile.
got the soundtrack the double record soundtrack from Mondo.
Wow.
The soundtrack by Rob, which this is one of the best horror movie soundtracks of all time. It's freaking outstanding. And,
His name is Rob.
When I went to Fantastic Fest in 2014, I went to a cool little record shop down the street. We were looking for places to go, and they had this on sale. And I picked it up there in Austin. And it's got a really cool... the dolls, like the mannequins in this movie, are so creepy. I just love the way it's all set up. So that's awesome.
Nathan, I got a question for you. Let's say this version of Maniac didn't exist, and you were tapped to produce a remake of Maniac. Oh wow, that's pretty.
Ooh, that's
pretty. And I like where this question is going.
I'm just curious how far down the list of villains, how far down your list would be before you ran into Elijah Wood.
You know what? That's a good question. I don't think he comes off as like one of your top choices, but Jesus Christ, he nails it in this movie. He's so fucking creepy. I don't know if he would be my first choice, but that's the magic of casting sometimes.
Yeah.
He'd probably be in the middle of the pack, I guess. I mean, he did Sin City, so he did play a creep in that movie.
That's
so
true. Yeah, he was the best thing in that movie.
He was, absolutely.
What was that show that it starts with a W?
Wilfred.
That he was whack in that show. I don't know. He was just crazy in that show.
He has range. Elijah Wood has range.
For sure.
I think he has a career ahead of him, that kid.
He did Nacho Vigalondo had a movie at Fantastic Fest called Open Windows.
I love it.
Yeah. It's an okay film. I thought it was an okay film.
I enjoyed it.
Elijah Wood was there, and the red carpet is on the front, and Chad and I are kind of hanging out, and we're like, oh, there's Edgar Wright, there's blah blah. And I turned to me and I'm like, who's this child standing behind me? I swear to God, Elijah Wood is like 3 feet tall. He is the tiniest human being.
Oh, he really is a hobbit.
Yeah, he's like so Natalie dressed. He just looks like out of the corner of your eye, he just looks like a little kid. Like he's so adorable.
Like,
with his buttons all the way to the neck.
Nathan's like, come here.
Do you need to find your mommy?
That was cool. Like he's just a very neat, small little human.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's lurking in the comments right now. So
yeah,
we're gonna get
I'm sure he's watching this and he's very upset.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Listen, we know you're gonna do great, kid.
I'd love to get the royalties from his worst movie.
Yeah, seriously.
But real quick, who else would go in that role? That was a fun remake. That was a fun. I like the way that it was done from the POV. It was good. It was very good.
Yes,
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's good.
Fantastic.
Ellison says he's 5'6". How about that?
What? How tall are you, Nathan?
I am 5'9", 5'10"-ish.
All right.
5'9.5", really.
I was gonna say 5'6" to me is like super tall. I'm 5'3.5" with shoes on. So that seems really tall.
So he's probably 5'5" without shoes. So
right.
He could have lifts in his shoes too. So maybe he's like 5'3", 5'4".
Oh man.
Okay, you know who I would want in that role? I would go older, and I would get the dude from Sons of Anarchy. He plays Tig. For anybody who's seen Sons of Anarchy, I don't remember his name. And he's in Waterworld. He plays the Irish guy who says, "It's paper, it's paper." You know that guy?
Yeah, the Irish guy.
That is
the Irish
deep pull right there, man.
That scene is so memorable. He's like, "It's paper, it's paper." I don't know his name, but he would be so good in that role. He would be fun. That would be a fun cast, I think.
His name is Kim Coates.
Yeah,
I know
Coates.
him. Yeah. Okay.
Great. That would be a great. He would make a meal out of that role.
He was in The Last Boy Scout, which I've watched about 9,000 times.
He would be good, like if you're gonna make a straight up remake of William Lustig's Maniac, like
right. That's what I'm really thinking of. Yeah,
he would be a good. Yeah, he would be a good choice. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Brian, you're up.
All right. I went through my collection and I revisited this movie earlier today just to make sure that I wanted to talk about it. I actually saw this. I saw this at Genre Blast actually, and it's one of those films that I feel like people should talk about more, but they don't. But Assassinaut, can you see it?
I have that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
cool.
most of you guys
Shit.
have seen it, but it's Drew
Bolduc.
Yep.
Yeah, who has a history with like trauma, and this is like, I don't know. I didn't really do a lot of the research in terms of like the budget and stuff like that, but I'm sure it was a modest budget, but it shows on the screen. Like, I was supposed to see it prior to Genre Blast at another festival I won't mention, but it had like sound issues, so I waited till Genre Blast, and that was the way to see it and to hear it on the big screen, and just the great sound design and all that. And again, it's like a modest budget. It's mostly daylight, but for like indie filmmakers, I think check it out. I mean, it's got some great like. I mean, I like daylight horror, and it's got a lot of that. Like, it's just got that eerie sort of uneasy feeling. It got like four really good, talented kid actors, and it's just brutal. It's like shockingly brutal, and I think a lot of horror fans and sci-fi fans should check it out. It's whatever the budget is, it's on par with like The Lost in Space on Netflix, and it's like, that's probably cost like millions more. And I think Drew made most of this in like his bedroom. It's like there's really cool like special features where he's like talking about it, and I recommend it. I think people should check it out and enjoy it. It's just got a great look to it, great sound to it. The performances are great, and I never got taken out of it in terms of like effects or anything like that. There's some really great like gruesome practical stuff, and it's really cool. So check it out.
I'm gonna check it out because I missed it.
If you have you seen Science Team, Brian?
I was so happy to see it at the. What's that?
Have you seen Science Team? His last film,
no,
Science Team.
No. I saw the tape.
Oh, it's so good.
I didn't love.
What's Science Team about?
Okay, Science Team was Drew's movie before Assassinaut, and it's got Vito Trigo in it, just like in Assassinaut. And this loser, he breaks up with his girlfriend, and he goes back to his mother's house to move in. And he finds out that his mother's been sleeping with this mind-controlling alien from another dimension. And the alien has finally murdered her in her bed and is now trying to take over other people's minds. And he sort of kind of has this battle of wills with it. It's so fucking weird and so funny. Like, everybody's like shouting their lines like manically. And it's, oh my God, it's so funny and so weird. I love that movie. I actually have it on VHS, I think, but it's a wonderful film. Right. Drew's awesome because he shot Science Team in the Taint here in Richmond, and when he tried to do he did both of those by himself, kind of indie stuff, and then he got investors for Assassinaut to work with him, like European producers. So when he finished shooting and he's trying to edit it, they came in and kicked him out of the edit room because he was like, "What are you doing? This sucks." And so he got fired from the movie, and they took it over and they started editing it. And then I kept asking him because I kept seeing him around. I mean, like, when are we going to play Assassinaut? And he's like, well, it's kind of out of my hands now, blah, blah, blah. So finally, he told me that they hired him back because they tried to edit the movie and they couldn't fucking figure out how to edit the film. It made no sense. It only makes sense to Drew. So he tried to tell them that. So he ended up editing it himself again and fixed it and everything. But I thought that was the fucking thing.
That's the equivalent.
That's awesome.
That's the equivalent of somebody has the map that you need to get to the treasure, and then the map gets destroyed, and it's all up here, baby. So you got to take them with you. You know what I mean? Like that kind of trope.
I guess the Bluray just came out like last year through Dread, and it's got like special features with Drew talking about directing the film, and he has his lead actress talking, and it's all, I guess it's all during quarantine because they're all in their house, and it's not like a typical EPK. It's just them filming themselves. It's really interesting. That was interesting to see, and he shows like his one computer that he used to edit it, and I was like, can we get this guy some like, get him a deal somewhere? Because
that's inspiring.
It's just he turns the camera around and there's his computer in his bedroom, and I'm like,
I love seeing stuff like that.
Yeah,
I love that stuff,
so
man.
I was really impressed with everything he did with it, and like I said, it never took me out with the effects, and a lot of it's practical. It's very goopy and gory, and surprisingly, So yeah, check it out.
Cool.
That's
very
awesome.
cool.
I like the growing up on the survivors slowly giving into the parasite that's taking him over.
I haven't seen it yet.
It happens. Listen,
it's in the trailer. You're good.
It's in the trailer.
Okay.
I actually didn't see the trailer, so seeing it for the first time at the festival was like everything I was seeing it the way Drew wanted us to see it, and I was just like shocked every time something happened.
Do you guys like trailers?
No.
I do.
I hate them.
Look, I like older trailers. I'll revisit a lot of classic ones, but now there's always that moment where it goes too far and it gives away too much. Like
right.
Title, like, no, damn it.
Shape of Water. Yeah, you literally see the whole movie in Shape of Water.
Yeah.
I think you should only cut a trailer based on that first act, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's as far as you can go, and then that way the movie's not spoiled. Like the trailer for Brave from Pixar, that doesn't show anything of the movie. We went to go watch that movie. The entire plot was not spoiled. So that's like my favorite example of a trailer. They showed nothing in the trailer for that movie.
And it shouldn't. Trailers should not be that's not the movie. It should just get you interested to find out what happens. You don't need to see everything. I hate when you like Invisible Man also pretty much showed the whole movie in the trailer. I love trailers. Like I love trailers and I like going early to the movies. So
Me too.
Trailers. I wish though that they were a little better at keeping.
Here's my rule of thumb. I do love trailers, but I hate them. And what I hate is the third trailer. The third trailer is always the trailer that gives the whole movie away. That's what happened with Shape of Water. So my rule of thumb is I can watch the first trailer, but the moment that I know, and how do you really know it's a second or a third trailer? But like, once you catch on or whatever, the moment that I know it's not the first trailer or whatever, I just like when I used to go to the Alamo all the time, I just bury my head in my lap and I just like don't watch. I just like don't want to see it.
It's a double-edged sword though, because like if the trailer shows too much, of course it kind of ruins everything. But then you take a look at, for instance, the trailer to Garden State. Garden State had an incredible trailer and was a dog shit movie. Like
I liked that movie. That was a pretty good movie. That was a pretty good movie. Come on. All right. Wrong, Steven.
It's not sick and wrong.
As much as I hate to bring them up, like I used to intern for Fangoria many moons ago, and Miramax Dimension, they were notorious for not giving away much in terms of like PR and things like that, like their trailers when showing. You watch the screen trailers, they really don't give away a lot, and that's how their PR was. It was shots of people screaming and reacting, things like that, because they managed to keep the secrets for their movie, for the actual film. I think that's just something that is missing from trailers now and PR. Like they give away a little too much. You can give away some things, but there were still secrets that were kept from the Scream movies. That's why I think people kept coming back every year. It was like, you want to know what's good.
Tarantino trailers, they don't give away much either. So
what's that?
I don't think Tarantino trailers give away anything at all. It's like kind of he's
like
a hype trailer.
Yeah, I'd rather watch.
I revisit that trailer a lot.
I'd rather watch like a 2-minute mood board or something, than an actual
like a scene, just a quick scene to like that's out of context and be like, is it a good? I mean, that's a cool little
even
moment.
Better.
James Wan was doing that for a little bit with some of his films too. Like he'll just give you like a scare scene to whet the appetite.
Yeah.
Who's the master of that is Tim. Tim's a master of just putting it all in a trailer and making it work.
You don't even have to make the movie.
Yeah, I don't make anything else. It's like I'm just gonna cram all the good stuff in here and then we're done.
Yeah. That's like, I mean, everybody should hire Tim. Everybody should be hiring Tim. So,
and I put up the link to Back to the Future 2. If you are someone who gets high, it's a really good thing to do while you're doing that.
Oh, I see. I'm
telling you, I really wasn't sure what it was going to be because it's like 80 or 90 different filmmakers from all over the world. And some of them are just kids that are like with their dad and they, whatever. But it's actually really trippy and very well put together. And you almost can follow the movie. If you know anything about the movie at all, you can really follow it. Like it's really, I was super impressed and like super proud that I was a part of it. It was really cool. Check it out.
I just noticed that I look like Lobot. I'm never wearing this headset again.
a little bit with that.
The stupid thing is in the back.
Because
Yeah.
you can't see the top part. You did it to yourself.
I did this to myself. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll join you.
Right.
In solidarity.
You don't have the Lobot dome though. Like
I know. You know what I kind of like for trailers, going back to the trailer thing?
Sorry.
There is sort of like, it was sort of discussed just a moment ago. I love the idea of kind of like even almost like a 60-second unrelated film that doesn't give anything away, that does work as a teaser thematically for the film. And I can't think of a good example at the moment, but we all know we've seen stuff like that. I think Ice Age is actually a really good example. Where it's just like the prehistoric squirrel with the nut, and it kind of gives you thematically like, hey, like life sucks in the Ice Age, and I just need to eat this nut, and like there's snow falling on me, and it sucks, like
Scrat. Scrat.
I don't know.
Is that his name?
The Child's Play 2 teaser was just like a Jack in the Box. It was the camera was circling it.
Precisely.
The little and. You're in the. I remember being in the. I forgot. I think I was seeing like it might have been Exorcist 3 or Candyman. It might have been something where I was like already primed for a horror film, and the audience. You could hear the audience. The anticipation was just like, oh shit, what now? And you see the little thing turning, and of course his foot stomps down. But it's trailers like that.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what about the trailers? What if they I don't like when they put stuff in the trailer that's not in the movie, and you're waiting for it. You're like, I want to hear this line. I heard it in the trailer. I want to hear it, and they don't.
Yeah, but that's studio. Studio interference.
I think trailers should be just all the scenes that they don't use. That way,
I think that's what the Highlander Endgame trailer is.
That's what I did with Jack.
I think that's entirely what that is. It's like there's portals, there's magic, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
None of it's in the movie.
I mean,
I want to hear the I want to hear the trailer song in the movie. I want to hear the certain line. I want to hear all that stuff. That got me
I want to hear what you're promising me. I mean, with Jax, there was a scene that we ended up cutting from the movie because it was just kind of repetitive and unnecessary, but it like looked so good and it was kind of creepy and ominous. So I used it as the teaser. I just took it out and used it as a teaser, and you never see it in the movie. And I'm doing exactly what I hate, and it's never there. But at least that way we got to see the scene, Oh,
I would love to see someone splice their trailer in the middle of their film, like right in the middle, right in the middle of Act 2. It's just like in Fight Club when they insert the penises in the kids movie.
Oh.
It's just a full 2.5 minute trailer in the middle of a big climactic scene, and then they just go back to the movie. No mention of it whatsoever. Just to remind you to watch it.
Pretty much the Transformers movies.
I think I can't watch those Transformer movies because my eyes. I don't know what's wrong, if it's just me or if it's anybody else, but my eyes cannot process what's actually happening. Like the gear, like all the stuff that's happening, like not just like the action stuff. And by the way, I like Michael Bay a whole hell of a lot. I really, really do. I love Pain and Gain. I like he didn't do True Lies. I like Armageddon.
The Rock is one of my top 10 favorite movies.
The Rock? Oh my God. The Rock is, oh God, The Rock.
He's a better DP than he is a director, though. Like, he's a fantastic DP. He knows
Does he shoot all his own stuff?
He does, yeah.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Transformers 3 more than, 2 was painful in the theater.
Didn't even bother, man. I saw that first one, and I was like, my eyes can't process the robots changing. Like, I'm like, wait, what is that? An arm? Is that a finger? Like, I just can't.
You're not meant
make
to
out.
Yeah. It's just supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a Tasmanian devil blur or something. Like, you're not supposed to.
They want to be the Iron Man. They want to be Tetsuo the Iron Man, and they just.
Hey, I just watched that.
Me too. That was my first film of the year. First film of the year, baby. Never seen it before.
That's fun.
It's a good time.
I like that line at the end. I gotta find it now. What's the line at the end where they're like, "Our love will destroy the world"? I think.
Yeah.
It's so. I was like, that's the scene right there. Now I want to watch the sequels, but now I have to know. It's our love. Our love can destroy this whole fucking world, and then they just they go off, and it really is what a nightmare. And I was reading about how that movie was made.
I'm sure it was a delight for everyone involved.
A nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
A nervous breakdown. I can't even begin to imagine. All right, I'm going to go. Hold on.
What?
It's my turn. It's my turn.
I thought you were going to leave.
Yeah, I thought we were.
He was like, oh,
Bye,
good,
guys.
my Scrabble.
Wow. Bye, guys. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. All right. So this pick, some of you might have seen this pick already.
Dun, dun, dun.
I picked this because when I was thinking about my pick, I actually had two picks, and I'm going to save the other one because we're definitely going to do this again in the future. I'll save it for another time. This pick is very special to me. The director is special to me. I talked about my love for certain boutique labels that are not 88 films, and for me, I think my favorite by far, my absolute favorite boutique label, like for me, the gold. I said this before. The gold standard for labels putting out genre films. I mean, they're all great in their own ways. They all do their own thing. To give a Nathan answer, they all have that. They all do their special little thing.
They're all special in their own way.
Right. They're all special.
They're all my favorite.
They're all my favorites. But Arrow Video, in my opinion, it's the champagne of Blu-ray genre labels. They just the love and care. I don't know what it is. You know what it is? It's just the premium. And when you would compare, you'd say, "Oh, what about like Criterion?" Like, yeah, Criterion's great. Everybody knows, like Criterion's great. But this is the Criterion of genre labels, man. And I mean, I guess maybe there are other ones that could go for that title as well, but there's just something about this one. It's the right. It intersects commerciality amongst genre fans, as well as being more mainstream. I guess I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yep.
And so one of my directors, my favorite directors, is Brian Yuzna, and he did some kind of deal with Arrow, and they put out all of his movies, a whole bunch of his movies. I don't have Beyond Reanimator. That's about to come out. That's actually now that I have a region. The thing I didn't mention last time we did this about the Dawn of the Dead box set is that I actually had to go out. I finally pulled the trigger on a region-free player. I didn't own one, and I wasn't about to let me not getting this Dawn box set be because I didn't have the right player. I said, fuck that. I'm buying this player. I already spent too much on this one movie. I've never spent so much money on a single film. And I was just like, I'm going to do it. And so now I can get that Beyond Reanimator. I don't know why I was talking about that, but the movie that I picked is Society.
Oh, that's what everyone keeps telling me to watch and I'm like, you don't get it. I don't like those kinds of movies.
Oh my
This
god!
movie is
ever.
It is. It's a treat.
It is a treat. It is a delight.
this is so.
Oh, because I saw Videodrome. That's why.
Yeah.
I guess I could see. Okay, I could see why someone would say that to you because of that.
Right.
That does make sense. This film. This is Brian Yuzna's first film that he ever directed as a director. He started off as a producer working with Stuart Gordon. They did Reanimator, and they did From Beyond, and they did Dolls. And then Brian Yuzna got some Japanese money to finance two films. One of them was The Bride of the Reanimator. And he said, listen, if I make a sequel to Reanimator, you got to let me make my own film. And so he took the script, which is originally about a blood cult, and sort of like went off with it. And what's great, first of all, the artwork is just absolutely and it's raised a little bit. You can feel, you feel the
just like the skin.
Qualities.
Just like
yes. It's like scar tissue. It's just like scar tissue. And it's loaded. I mean, it is jam-packed, loaded with features. It's got just tons of goodies, and it really does a lot of justice to Screaming Mad George. For some of you who are familiar, he worked with Brian Yuzna and a bunch of things. He used to be in a punk band called The Mad, who did a lot of crazy. It was a fusion of kabuki theater with ultra gore. In the early hardcore scene, 1980, Max's Kansas City. He was going to the School of Visual Arts. And so he fronted this band, and then he got into special effects. But it all started with the Mad. And so this is indicative of Screaming Mad George's special effects right there. You can just see how friggin' beautiful. It's a double disc set. It's got, I mean, literally, it's everything that you dream of. Like when I think about what I want for Peter Jackson's first 3 films, it's got a card and it gives you an invitation. You're invited. You're invited. You are hereby invited to take your place in society and enjoy Arrow Video's limited edition. This is a limited edition one. You can still get it, but you can't get this one. Of Brian Yuzna's
I can't if I beat you up and take it from you.
That's right, but you're in Florida and I'm in New York. You got to come up here, buddy. You want to know what the thing is? It's like that's the other thing about us genre collectors or like Blu-ray collectors. Like that limited to 2,000, limited to 2,500. It's like crack. It's like I have to have that, and if I don't buy it, I'm going to regret it.
It's the Psycho Gorman thing, and now you got it rolling around in my fucking head right now. I don't need the Hokey Boys version, but there's only 2,000.
Yeah, and I had to buy it. And that's why I bought it sight unseen just for that. And so you get your little booklet here. It's got some essays in it, your standard fare. But what really makes this set special, truly, is the following. And again, I already said this. You know when I said this? When we were talking, when we did our pilot episode on New Year's that was never recorded. So what happened was I was trying to dig up all I could on this sequel to Society. Brian Yuzna's had this in development hell for a long time. It's called Society 2 Body Modification. Trying to find out any information I can on this film. And I stumbled upon the fact that in the 90s, there was a Society comic book sequel. And I went, what? And, I immediately go to the website, the defunct website. I send an email to the guy. It's over in Britain. And I go, how can I buy this comic book? He goes, it's out of print, impossible to get. However, keep your powder dry because Arrow is soon to re-release Society. So that's when I got the news that it was coming out. And then he said, and we're including the comic book with the set. So here is the Society sequel. It's the sequel to Society that sort of undoes the narrative of the first film a little bit. And it is, I mean, it's an okay sequel, but you know what it is? It's symbolic. It's indicative of everything that I want in a package for a Blu-ray. Not only do I want the Blu-ray with the features, and Tim was talking about the Mant extra features, which to me is so special, and that's why I had to own Matinee myself. But I want some sort of booklet supplemental material. It has to happen, and if it's not going to be 164 pages of essays, it better be the motherfucking sequel comic book in miniature format that fits right in the fucking box, so that when I look at it on my shelf, I can see the little comic and I can see Society. And it's just, I hope that Arrow gets Peter Jackson's films. I hope that this is what I keep envisioning. And we talked about this last time, that splatter box set, that beautiful, gorgeous splatter box set. And for those who have not seen this film, it culminates in something so shocking and unbelievably awesome and gross. Yeah, it's just it's one of those. You want to know what the people? I heard a friend of mine from college was talking about this the other day. I don't know if you guys know Dominique DeLuca. He's a writer with Bloody Disgusting and yada yada yada. And he was talking about, I hate how people call a slow burn when it's really just a shitty excuse for a film where nothing happens. Blah blah blah. And I kind of agree with what he's saying a little bit, where some films where nothing happens and it's a slow burn is a slow burn. I can kind of understand that a little bit. However, I think Society is the perfect example of what a slow burn should. Yeah, an actual slow burn should be. An actual slow burn is a film that pays off in dividends at the end and kind of strings us along does just enough to keep us getting to that end scene where there is a cataclysmic shift in narrative that explodes our minds and literally melts our faces off.
I like seeing. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I like seeing the tragic ending of the bully from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. He's in there. I guess he made this movie before that Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but it's still nice to see him finally get punished for Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I have that Escape from New York box set as well with the comic book. That also came with a little miniature comic book. It's good.
I got.
You should buy movies to get the comic books. You're not really a movie collector. You're a comic book collector.
Yes. Yes. Step 1, buy the Blu-ray. Step 2, collect the comic book. Step 3, profit.
Jeff, I'm not sure where the profit part comes from, and that seems a little inefficient.
Quiet, you.
Go for the comic book.
I don't think I can go back to Criterion. They don't have the balls to release their Carrot Top's Chairman of the Board Blu-ray out of their library.
They did
They've been sitting on it for a while.
They did Polyester. They did Multiple Maniacs. They did Female Trouble.
I got Female Trouble.
Yeah.
And,
You all got female trouble.
nah.
Yeah. If you got problems. Down, 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 down. You know,
All right.
I think Criterion does a great job, but it just depends on the movie.
I think it was easier in the past to shit on Criterion for being kind of snobby and elitist, but nowadays we have, like you said, so many boutique special edition releasing distributors like Arrow, and
We're spoiled.
yeah. So Criterion
Spoiled rotten.
keep making their releases. They don't have to try to reach out and put out a society release, because Arrow's taking care of it. Arrow's on.
I mean, Criterion released Armageddon and The Rock.
Oh shit! I don't have
RoboCop.
And RoboCop. I have RoboCop.
And a really, really dope Godzilla set.
I don't know if they're the same people running it now, but I don't feel like they're snobs. I think they get a bad rap for that. I think they just like world cinema, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
they released Police Story 1 and 2, which is a fantastic set, by the way, and it looks amazing. So, I mean, they're not all bad.
They're not.
I have a ton of Criterions. I got,
but
I have most of the genre stuff.
Yeah.
That's about it's like
I would like to see more genre stuff from them, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they've released every Ingmar Bergman movie, so they're good there. They don't have to do that anymore.
they hit that cap. I think they have. Although, as someone who took an Ingmar Bergman seminar, that was a fun course. There was definitely a couple days that I was just not really expect, like, you watch like like hour 6 of Fanny and Alexander, and then it's like, okay guys, we're gonna watch Persona, and you're like, fine, bring it on. And then like 90 minutes later, you're like, what the?
Have you seen Serpent and the Egg? The Serpent and the Egg.
Saw the Serpent and the Rainbow,
but I don't remember it.
That either.
I mean, like,
so now you know how I feel.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the problem. Like at a certain point, it's like, well, I saw this movie. Well, Psycho Goreman's just gonna push out that one. So it's on my list. I know I fucking saw it, but
I am like so excited and nervous for Psycho Goreman. All of your stocks are either going to go soaring or they're all going to plummet. Because
you got to watch those expectations, man, to keep them in check.
Temper.
It goes for every movie.
Blind Buys. I have high expectations for Blind Buys.
I have the Criterion version of Chasing Amy because it was on sale at Virgin Megastore back when there was a Virgin Megastore at Downtown Disney. Back when Downtown Disney was called Downtown Disney and not Disney Springs. Anyway, my point is, I don't know why the Criterion version of Chasing Amy exists.
Oh my God! Yes, there is a Criterion of Chasing Amy. That's right. I have it.
It's right there. Why?
I have it.
Why? I
remember owning it. Yeah, it's a fun release. It's weird.
Why isn't Clerks Criterion over Chasing Amy? That would make more sense.
I didn't like either one, but I think Clerks would have been a better pick than Chasing Amy.
It would have made more sense to do Clerks over Chasing Amy.
Yeah.
Didn't they do an Evil Dead release? Evil Dead 2 on Criterion? Was that Criterion?
Stop
I got
it.
a big tin box Evil Dead release, but I don't know if it wasn't Criterion.
I don't.
It was the one that had the Sam Raimi Bruce Campbell commentary, which is one of the greatest commentaries of all time. It's
Oh, I bet.
Is that the one where
I
Bruce
never
keeps going, well, I'm glad that's over with.
He's like, come here, you want to play house? You be the screen door and I'll slam you.
You know, his
That's a
commentary
great
for Crime
commentary.
Wave is really great.
Yeah.
Crime Wave commentary is good too. Bruce Campbell.
The Thing commentary is my favorite commentary with
Yes.
John
Which
Carpenter and Kurt Russell. The Thing.
Yeah,
Oh, never listened to it. I got to check
It's
that
the
out.
best commentary. Yeah, absolutely.
that's a good listen.
Is that on the Scream Factory disc? I would imagine.
Should be on there. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
They got everything on there. That's like although Arrow, and then right after the Scream Factory puts theirs out, then Arrow is like, you know, puts their proverbial DICK on the table, and then, you know, it's just like, you know, blows it out of the water. And I already got the Scream Factory. It's like, what do you do? What do you do? You know,
You probably buy it again.
I came close. I came so close. Oh, good news! Good news for anybody who likes Six String Samurai. The director proclaimed on his Facebook page that it is getting a 4K remaster re-release. I'm super excited. This is one of my favorite films. It's got a rinky-dink DVD release forever and ever and ever. And I'm just very glad that this film is getting the proper love that it deserves.
This
Makes me happy.
There was a guy at this place I used to work who was constantly pitching this movie to me, and I just really hated the guy, so I always resisted, and I never watched the movie.
It's
and
a polarizing film. You either love it or you hate it.
Well, when I finally watched it, I thought, oh, this is fucking amazing, but I still hate that guy.
So it's a tainted.
It's tainted, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I eventually got over it. It's the same reason I hated Chipotle, because I had a roommate who ate there all the time, and I hated him. It wasn't until he moved out that I could learn to love Chipotle.
How can you turn that into a gross screenplay? Like, I just feel like that's just some
turning things off for you. Somebody, they already did it in Freaked. I kind of, because Worm Guy hated macaroons.
Yes. Why? Okay. Question. Why I think that has a Blu-ray release. I have it on the double disc DVD set, but that's what I want from Arrow. I want Arrow to pick up Freaked, and like, it's totally within the realm of possibility. Like, there's so many random movies that come out from these boutique labels, and you're just like, so when you dream about the ones that you want to see, you just can kind of almost imagine them in your head, and you just go, but why isn't it there yet? Why can't, like, when is this going to materialize? You know? And it just has
Kino Lorber is probably more likely to pick that up. They do a lot of catalog releases, and they do a good job too. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it coming out from them. Hell, I picked up Space Camp on Blu-ray. I mean,
they did The Pit.
It's camp.
Yeah.
You ever see The Pit? The Pit is weird. Great film. Love
My
it.
Science Project, which that's my childhood.
My Science Project.
Right there.
Oh man,
Holy shit.
Dennis Hopper and Fisher Stevens.
Oh my! I gotta watch that again. That was one of those movies that, like, I watched a whole bunch of movies when I was young that I was pretty sure were just, like, when I got older, I was pretty sure they were just fever dreams, because nobody I ever talked to.
The Peanut Butter Solution. That was
Peanut Butter Solution.
when the
That
Peanut
was
Butter
a-
Solution came
that was
out.
one of mine.
Vinegar Syndrome? Did Vinegar
Severin.
Syndrome put that
Yeah,
out?
Vinegar Syndrome put that out.
Or was it
I-
Severin?
It's Severin.
Oh, maybe
It was Seven.
yeah,
It was Seven.
Seven.
It was. I did a podcast on it.
Did you really?
I did. It was one of the early episodes of The Hold Up. Yeah.
Peter Butter.
Really?
Peanut Butter Solution. It was one of those movies. I found somebody who'd seen it, and I was like,
So
"Really, it
crazy.
exists? It's a real thing."
Mm-hmm.
I
That was
haven't
a
seen it in
nightmare
20
in my
years.
childhood.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it in 20 years. I remember
It's
so
still
much about
fucking
this
weird,
movie.
man.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
remember so much about this movie because it was so effing bizarre.
It was even weirder than I remembered. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like-
I'm Jeff. I'm sure however well you remember it, there's definitely stuff you don't, because that's just it's the
All right,
weirdest,
ready? Hold on
the
a second.
weirdest thing.
Hold on a second. I have not watched this in 20 years. Ready? A boy looks into a broken glass window, sees something that scares him so bad that it makes all his hair fall out. They put peanut butter on the boy's head. It causes his hair to grow. It turns out to be a subplot by this crazy artist that takes kids' hair that he grows from peanut butter and makes paintbrushes out of it, and then paints scenery that he then walks into and dances inside of.
That sounds like
That is 98% accurate.
There's also ghosts.
There's also ghosts. There's also like burned homeless people.
Yes.
Yeah, it's dark, man.
There's burned homeless people. There's a young girl who's kind of acting like her own mom. I mean, does she go to school? Does anyone go to school? There's a kid who grows his own pubes.
Yeah, he puts the peanut butter on his balls, man.
Nice.
It's fucking weird.
Also, a kid who gets kicked out of school for being too distracting because of his hair is growing too much. It's a delight.
Oh, the 80s.
It's nonsense.
Speaking of the 80s, I just watched for the first time. I know it just came out on Vinegar Syndrome or Severin or one of those. I always get Severin and Vinegar Syndrome mixed up. I just watched Rad for the first time. Never seen it before.
Never saw it.
It's the BMX biking movie with Aunt Becky from Full House.
Lori Loughlin, she's in jail. No, I don't know.
She may or may not be in jail. She and the other guy, they are adorable in this on their BMX bikes. I guess it's like, I thought it was like, this was like a much beloved, well-known 80s film. It's pure 80s. Like it's
like
so
an uber cult classic because it's impossible to get a copy of it until recently. So,
right. It was on Showtime. And so I finally just checked it out. And that was definitely a trip. That was a bit of a trip.
You guys, I'm sorry. I have to go as much as
No.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to bow out too.
I have to go, but I love doing this with you guys. And I have my pick for next time. I just have to watch it.
We'll do it again. Thank you for joining.
So much fun, though. I love doing it.
Thank you.
Good. We'll definitely do it again.
Okay.
Are we still going for a little bit, guys, or you guys have to go too?
I mean, I do have a work thing at 8. Oh, what?
All right. No, I really have to go. I love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Bye. All right, let's go, guys. Can we go for another half hour so we can make it to 2 hours? Can we do? You can't do that. All right, bye.
I mean, we can go, but I'm going to be eating these cheese balls.
That's fine.
I mean, as long as I can do that, then I'm good.
That's fine.
I just like Bob Rose just woke up from a nap, and I yelled at him that this was still going on. And
bring him in. Bring him in. Bob Rose. I was just talking to Bob Rose. I didn't realize this. Apparently, there are 4 Scorpion King movies outside of
He would be the one. He would be the one who knew that. He'd be the one to know that.
Because I watched The Mummy.
Yeah.
And The Mummy Returns, and I hadn't seen them in forever. And I got to tell you, they are really, really fun.
I remember watching the movie, and I remember watching The Mummy and walking out thinking, I cannot articulate a single complaint about this movie, but I don't like it. And then I watched The Mummy Returns, and I walked out and thought, I can articulate many, many complaints about this movie, and I don't like it.
It's like, it's like they took the original 1932 Mummy and they were like, hey, let's add Indiana Jones, but since we're not going to get Harrison Ford, let's get Brendan Fraser and make him like Indiana Jones and then throw in the plot of The Mummy. And I was like, wow, this works. Yeah.
I don't like the CGI bugs.
The CGI is atrocious.
The CGI is bad.
Atrocious.
Cats is fun. I enjoy
99.
99. I love Rachel Weisz. She's just great.
Oh, she's phenomenal. And you know what's funny? I didn't realize that Steven Sohmer, I always forget, he's the guy behind Dead Rising. So he literally went from Dead Rising to The Mummy. Like, wow.
Jen likes The Mummy ride at Universal Studios.
Is that all you have to say about The Mummy?
I don't like The Mummy. I didn't like it. I didn't like the movie. I hated this one sequel that I watched. No, I did watch the first Scorpion King of 4, and I did not.
There's quite a few of them.
It reminded me of, and I think I may have mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this with us the last time we did this, but it reminded me of, I bought or my mom bought me when I was a kid. She bought me this D&D board game that came with a VHS tape that you were supposed to watch segments of while you were playing, and the VHS tape had the most garbage. Like it was like a high school theater wardrobe against bad green screens. Anyway, the first Mummy movie, the first Scorpion King reminded me of that. Is like they had like $40 to make this movie, and also The Rock, which is what he was at the time. You know,
they get worse.
Do they get worse?
Well, let me put that. They look worse.
They look worse.
They start to look like. I mean, the first one looks like a cheap movie.
Yes.
Then they start to look like. I think it goes from like cheap movie to expensive episode of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. To episode of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. To those like prequel movies of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys where they didn't quite get shit sorted out yet, and it's just like, oh, this looks bad.
You know what the big mistake is? I think my big mistake when watching The Mummy, because again, it is the CGI is absolutely the most atrocious example of CGI that does not age well.
Yes.
I think if I had desaturated my TV and watched it in black and white, I think that CGI would actually look pretty friggin' cool.
You've become quite an evangelist of that process.
I think it transforms special effects that don't age well. When you remove color information, it suddenly takes on like a stylized aesthetic that works. I can't explain it.
Are you going to watch Lawnmower Man 2? Desaturated for Nathan's thing? 1996 thing?
I think I'm going to call in sick for that episode. What were you saying, Brian?
Sorry.
I was because I've heard people say that certain movies look better in black and white. That's interesting because I didn't love the Mummy movies either, but I would probably now watch it as a Universal movie. You know, maybe it's better. Like people like Jason Lives, that was actually made to look like a Universal movie. So yeah, some people have actually watched it without the color.
That's how I saw it for the first time.
I wonder if anyone's keeping like a running list of all these films that we could just like, you know, the Mist and stuff like that. Like
I had the first big one that kind of set off the. Wasn't there one big one that was sort of started the trend recently?
I don't know, but I watched the Friday the 13th for the first time, some of them.
Yeah.
And that guy Dominic was like, watch part 6 in black and white. So I'd never seen it in color. I've only seen it in black and white. And you know what? It totally is a Universal horror film, without a doubt. So there you go. What were you saying? The Mist? Yeah,
the Mist. That was
dude, because the Mist CGI is so terrible. And I was just like in disbelief in the theater going, how can this be so bad? And then Frank Darabout's like, no. You got to watch it in black and white. I was like, all right, it works.
So, are you going to go back and watch the Langoliers in black and white?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Like we recorded it off a TV because I wasn't old enough to stay up late. Like I remember watching it with my sister. And my sister's 2 years younger than me, so this was not age appropriate for either of us. I mean, it was basic TV, so I guess it was fine. But I remember watching it, and it like builds, and you know the acting's TV acting. Yeah, exactly. But then like they actually show up, and I remember like the two of us, and we're children, looking at each other and being like, "What is
bullshit? What's going on?"
Yeah, it's like. They
were somewhat nightmarish. The idea of it was nightmarish.
Yeah.
It was
it's a great
concept. The visual concept art. Even for its time, it did have that feeling like, oh, this is something on my. It's just like a screensaver. You know?
Yes.
I am sure the concept art was harrowing.
Right.
Can you imagine that artist, like whoever drew that? He's like, yeah, I designed it. I wrote it. I went through the story.
This is my career. He goes to the
premiere. And then he sees it, and it's just like, oh, my career's over.
Like there was no lighting. There was no like cinematic lighting on them. They were,
right. They're just like objects. They're just objects in
like,
space.
Like MS Paint added.
Right. Right. Or you know what happened? The post-production supervisor was a compulsive gambler who went out one night. He's with his friend Jimmy, and Jimmy's like, boss, we don't have any more money to gamble. And he's like, no, Jimmy, we've still got money. And he goes, give me red. He goes, red on 23. And so they spin the wheel, and he throws down the entire post-production budget for the Langoliers, and he loses it. And Jimmy goes, boss, what are we going to do, boss? And he goes, I know, Jimmy. I know just what we're going to do.
I got my cousin or my nephew knows these computers.
Yeah. It's probably some of the most I've been taken out of anything with like CG.
I agree with the sentiment that Kevin Sorbo sucks. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
He really sucks.
Yes.
Listen, this is the part of the show. So we're like an airplane that's slowly in its final descent. I want to, unless Bob Rose comes here. Bob Rose comes here.
I don't think Bob Rose.
All right, you know what? Forget you, Bob. Forget
Bob. Fucking
what about Bob?
4K elitist Nazi ass Bob.
He shares that in 4K.
My eyes will literally bleed if I watch a DVD.
It's like you're like Bob is sitting on the couch. He's like, all right, could you start the movie? And he like puts it in, you put it in. He's like, wait, that's not a DVD, right? No. Steven's like, no, it's definitely 4K. He's like, okay. He goes like this, he just sits and he goes, and then the movie starts and he looks, oh my God! He starts gushing blood, just like Evil Dead 2 out of the wall, splurts blood out of his eyes, and Steven's just going, yes.
Oh, excellent.
Steven, you know what?
Plug that VCR into the 4K TV and watch the magic play.
You know what's funny? I don't know if either one of you saw this short from Steven's 72-hour debacle, but I keep reciting this line every once in a while. I'm just like walking around my house and I'll just say, there's a Salisbury steak in the freezer. I can't get that line out of my head. And I don't know why just now I thought about it when I was doing that sketch. I just thought about, there's a Salisbury steak in the freezer. Just send them the short, Steve, if they haven't seen it. You guys got to see this.
Yeah.
But what I was going to ask,
sausages. That's what I was thinking of. Cocktail sausages. Oh no, I'm not saying.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was going to say it was funny earlier when you mentioned Society. I didn't want to spoil it in front of Rakefet in case she hadn't seen it. But when I'd heard such good buzz about like Karen Kusama's The Invitation, and I went in blind. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. Well,
I'll check it out.
Watching that, I thought it was going towards the Society.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's one of those where you don't know where it's going. I'm just like, this is going to end up like Society or something. That would. It's still a movie, but I really thought it was going to go somewhere like, But I recommend it. It's still pretty good.
Okay.
Society is the movie I kind of fantasize. Like, if one of the studios is going to make a super cheap remake of an old horror classic and give it to some unknown director because they know it's just going to lose a bunch of money and they don't give a shit anyway, and they underfund it from the beginning because the whole thing's supposed to be a tax loss. I would do that. I would step up. I would love to be the one to make the doomed to be awful underfunded Society remake. I'd be into that.
Oh my God. Can we talk for a second? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I think in our last show and tell that I mentioned, because I showed Suspiria, there was an old Stephen King. It was an MTV show, Stephen King's World of Horror, or This Is Horror, and it was like it was in the 80s, and it was like a montage of all the scary films. It was because it was that period was like Thriller had come out, so everyone's watching like special effects and all that sort of stuff, and they showed full scenes from a lot of these movies, and they uncut. So I saw like Society for the first time through that.
Wow.
I never saw the actual movie.
Oh, that's wild.
I just saw the effects. And I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Like, oh, now the rest of the movie is going to be great.
Showed, like, yeah, it was just it just sears into your mind. You're like, "What the hell?"
I guess I am a butthead.
I guess you're right, son. I am a butthead.
And when he's like holding the guy's hand, and his mouth is like, you know,
Mhm.
it's weird. I was watching it. It's like I saw a lot of this stuff way too young. But yeah, that's how I was exposed to a lot of these things. Just in
I
clips
think
like
the
that.
I think the entire ending of that movie is available in GIFs from Giphy if you go
Probably.
dig it. Which is tragedy, and don't watch it. Anybody, don't watch it in GIF form. Watch
Yeah.
the movie
There's not too many films that are improved in GIF
in
form.
GIF form.
All
Right.
right, hold on. Now we got to talk about this for a second. So, what is all right? If we ran the zoo society, what would you guys do differently with society? Actually, I'm going to take that reign real quick, and I just want to say that I would just make it. I would do a straight cannibal film. That's what I would do. I would actually pull back. I don't think you can go to any higher heights than what's done in the original. It's just so well done. So I would actually go in the opposite direction, and I would make it a straight cannibal film. Same thing, slow burn or whatever, but they're raising spoilers. They're raising a son for slaughter, and that's the angle that I would take. Same thing, paranoia. I would, as a matter of fact,
movie that doesn't exist.
Well, yeah. No, but it would be like a mixture of society and parents, is what it would be essentially. I think.
Well, it would have to be. Yeah, it would probably have to be darker and more grounded.
Right
now, because you probably couldn't get away with like the Screaming Mad George type of over the topness, because that was definitely specific to the '80s. But now it's like you really play
make you go CGI.
Play up the paranoia, play up the conspiracy theories, all that stuff that's happening. That's literally happening in front of us now, and you can't believe it. And then add like a spin to it,
I don't know, man. If you handed it to me, first,
what would you go?
The first thing I'd say is, do you remember Moominchance?
What?
Yes.
No. What? What is that?
I feel like I know it in the back of my, like it's something I buried. Like,
they're like
they're these
kind of a puppet minds.
Yeah, they had this. One of their bits was they would, they'd have clay on their faces, and they would grab the clay and make. They showed up on Muppets one time. Anyway,
yeah, they're the guests on one of the Muppet Show episodes, which is weird.
And they're the guests, and they'll grab each other's faces and turn them into different expressions and stuff because their faces are clay. Anyway, thank you, Tim. It's validation. But what I would do is, I think you're right about cranking up the paranoia, cranking up the conspiracy. But if you handed it to me, I would blow the whole fucking ending out to just cartoonish levels of I would ramp the sex way the fuck up. Like you would definitely see Moominchance clay dicks being stretched around and yanked on at the end of this movie, of the Steven version of Society.
You're making me regret my decision in that, like, you know what you're doing? You're like Willy Wonka right now. You're telling me that I can dream about anything and that I don't have to be so grounded, and that you should outdo Screaming Mad George.
And I would love to bring back, I don't know the actor's name, the guy who played the villain from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and have him be the mayor, the stogie smoking mayor.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Yes.
Okay. Can I take another stab at this? I just thought of something. Ready? We're gonna go. I feel like this has to be part of the show where because we're all writers, we have to do this. This is part of the show. All right, check this out. Ready? Society. So the same story, grounded or not, it can either be Steven's version or straight cannibal version. However, this is the hook that I would change in my remake. The son is not necessarily in on it, but he's like ignorant. He's like kind of ignorant to everything. The paranoia is transferred to his fiance, who's marrying into the family.
Nice.
Doesn't know that her fiance was raised for slaughter. They go to the cabin in the woods, not a cabin, the mansion in the woods, like it's some estate, where they're having the coming out ball for the fiance, and it's actually the night That's the traditional night. They wait for the son to become engaged, and what they do is they have a feast. And so she doesn't know that she is going to become a part of the feast. Spoilers for a movie that doesn't exist. The son gets eaten as planned, and now the fiance, it turns into Ready or Not. And the fiance is running around the house. So the feast, the shunt, is not, and again, the shunt could be Stephen's shunt or it could be my shunt, which is more traditional, like Cannibal Feast. But then it turns into Ready or Not, where so the shunt is the middle part of the movie, and the third act is her putting on her Converse, taking the hunting rifle off the mantle and blowing these motherfuckers a new asshole. She's got to get out of there. And it's just like, it turns into Home Alone with a shotgun in the house with a bunch of fucking shunting motherfuckers looking to turn her asshole inside out. Booyah!
Nice.
That's where I would go. So, I don't know if you...
Well, we should all write our treatments, and then we
homework.
Something to do before next time.
Yeah,
we'll come with very, very different scripts for a Society remake.
Yeah, I mean, don't you want to do? I mean, this. I'm planning on doing a video about this, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But I really do love the Night of the Living Dead remake from Savini in 1990. I think I've been saying this forever. I've been saying, don't remake good movies, remake bad movies with good ideas. However, I think Night of the Living Dead 1990 is a phenomenal example of a masterpiece being remade in an even better way. And maybe you needed the original screenwriter in order to make that happen. I don't know.
So let's do a quick round. You just inspired me, Jeff. Starting with you.
Okay, fine.
Name, now that you said that, you don't get to qualify too much. You can. Well, anyway, name one terrible movie that you would remake.
Well, I already said this on Facebook, so this might be a spoiler.
I never look at your Facebook. I blocked it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, of course you did. I was going to say, okay, I would remake Raw. I would want Rawhead Rex to be remade.
Oh, okay.
And no. I said Guillermo del Toro initially.
I did see that, yeah.
And then I think it was somebody else. Oh, it was my friend Dominic, the same guy actually, Dominic, who said Neil Marshall, who I think would be phenomenal for that. And then Daniel Baldwin said, I think he said John Carpenter, which I don't agree with. I don't think John Carpenter would work.
Wait, the Daniel Baldwin? You have a Baldwin on your...
Yeah. Yes.
Which one's Daniel? He's the puffy one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not throwing that particular stone. I have no... Anyway, but the Baldwins are just...
Yeah, that's a movie that's definitely a movie. Oh, another one, The Beast That Wouldn't Die. Just rewatch this.
The big
No, it's about a werewolf. It's a werewolf mystery in a mansion with Peter Cushing and Charles Gray. Yeah, The Beast Must Die.
It's a bad movie.
It has the werewolf break in it.
It's not. I bought the Bluray and I was like, oh, I'm excited to see it on Bluray, and I was like, this is not a very good movie.
Yeah,
terrible movie. It was on Shudder.
The novelty of it is more entertaining than
the actual movie.
Because again, it has a point where it stops, goes, "Do you know who the werewolf is?"
Right.
And then the movie keeps going. You're like,
"Yeah, they wanted you to get
it. You guys aren't playing fair. Fuck you."
I did not give a shit.
Games.
Yeah, it's a dog. It's a fucking dog.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. You get one shitty movie, one bad movie you were in charge of remaking.
We've actually discussed this. My writing partner and I, Vincent Vinas, we would do Manos: The Hands of Fate.
Nice.
Okay.
Would you try to make it?
I'm actually putting that in the universe because it's like that is something like when we're desperate, we're like, let's just do it. Let's just write it.
It's public domain, right?
What's that?
Isn't Manos public domain?
I think it was just they gave it a 4K restoration and everything. It doesn't deserve it, but it looks great. But it really doesn't deserve it.
How can Torvo look great? I don't understand that.
Torvo looks like James Dean now. He's like,
wow, they really restored it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they've gone too far.
Look at Steven. Steven's checking for a movie.
Oh, no, I don't have an answer.
Steven!
Answer.
You can't do that.
There's
All right,
plenty
Tim.
of bad movies.
Tim, what do you got?
Oh, I have no idea. Let me think. Hold on.
All right, Brian, do you have any other
Yeah.
movies while we're waiting for Tim? Any other movies you would do, Brian? While Steven looks and Tim thinks.
I'm so upset with myself.
It's your game, Steven.
I
Yeah,
know.
you already mentioned. I mean, you already mentioned it, but like something like Beast Must Die, I can see the remake. It's not something I even want to give attention to. The Blob, I know that was like tossed around every once in a while, but how can you top the '88 one? Probably not. Probably, it's not a bad.
I
one, but,
don't think you can. I honestly, I would listen.
rather
I
leave
always
it.
want more Blob. Always want more Blob, but
Right.
I don't think it needs to be remade. If they didn't remake it, I wouldn't be heartbroken. But I always will take more Blob.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Manos is the top one, but like, oh man, there was something. I thought of something. Oh well, like it's not a bad movie, but like Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Okay,
I know how to. I know an angle for that one.
but you're picking movies that are awesome. You have to pick movies that are like bad. Come on.
Let's see.
I guess that's why I don't see any on my shelf.
All right.
What's that?
Oh. All right. While you guys are all going, hold on. I'm going to try and riff on the Beast Must Die while you guys all think. Somebody raise their hand when they come up with something. Ready? All right. Beast Must Die. It's a werewolf mystery. So you have a mansion. You have a bunch of people there. Why are they there? Brian, why are they there? Why are the people there?
Well, the original was like a dinner party, right? And they're assembled.
I know, but we're remaking it. Why are
There's
they?
always that. It could be like a mystery weekend. Maybe they're there for a mystery weekend or something, and then it's
Okay. It's an escape room. It's an escape room.
Something like that, yeah.
It's okay. So they're there for an escape room murder mystery.
Yeah, and then they have to solve clues or something before the full moon or something because he's trapped them now. And
I like that. So it has to happen. Yeah, it has to happen before the full moon. No, what it is this. It's like Clue.
Right.
There's a murder. They have to solve the murder. They think it's a part of the game. They realize that there's a real werewolf. They don't know who the werewolf is. And the thing is, the werewolf actually comes before the moon is full. So when the full moon happens, that's like some sort of exposition, werewolf mythology exposition that gets baked in somewhere that the werewolf will be at full form by tomorrow night. So they have to figure out who the werewolf is before the next night when there's a full moon, which for the life of me, I could not understand why something called The Beast Must Die did not have this plot element. Like you would think that it's just like so blatantly obvious.
It had a lot of day for night or night for day.
Yes, for a very for a fucked up reason, no less. But yeah.
I know what I'd pick.
What'd you pick?
Okay, Tim, you go.
I know what I'd pick. I just arbitrarily thought of this. I'm probably going to butcher the title of this. I have a fondness for this movie. I think it's it's either The Lost Loves of Dracula or The Loves of Dracula. It's not great. It's made by I can't remember his name. He's made a lot of werewolf movies not in America. Where he stars as a werewolf. It's always him. A werewolf, I think, named Wolendowski. I don't know. It's vague. One of his werewolf movies, it's like the werewolf versus the vampire woman, has the best opening to any cheesy horror movie ever. Because they're all sort of loosely tied together. He's a werewolf. Someone eventually kills him, moves on, and like he somehow comes back. In this one, they find his body, and they're literally doing an autopsy, and someone goes, it's a silver bullet in his heart. Why is that? Oh, they thought he was a werewolf. Ha, 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 ha. If we remove that silver bullet, if he's a werewolf, he's going to come back and kill us. Yeah. Then they pull out the silver bullet, comes back as a werewolf, murders them, moves on, title. And it's like, okay, I'm into this.
But that's such a great thing that you could riff on. Yeah. It's awesome. The
movie's
love it.
Real cheap. But he did a movie where he's Dracula, and it has I just kind like the plot's sort of nonsense, like to the point where you actually don't like Dracula's trying to bring his daughter back to life, and you're like, what is happening? And then eventually he gives up on that because he discovers love, so he shoves her coffin into the river, and you're like, what is happening? But the climactic scene of the movie should be like wonderfully dramatic and like should mean something. Instead, it just has this like third tier Dracula saying to this woman, so are you going to be a vampire with me? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, Dracula's finally been bested by love. And from behind his back, he pulls out a fence post and like jabs himself in the heart and he dies. And you're like, wow, where did that come from? It's bizarre, but like, you're like, I get what you're going for here, but you didn't earn it. You didn't earn it at all. There's huge, like it's kind of weirdly exploitative, and not really even exploitative. It's just like, let's have a lot of ladies in negligees, and then you're like, okay, cool. And then there's like a weird scene where they're like, we're gonna put this knife through this woman's neck, but it's okay because she's in a trance. And you're like, what is happening?
Okay, but
there's also like 10 minutes of a guy falling down a flight of stairs.
Okay, now what would you do?
I would make it not look like shit. Like I would just ask somebody make this make sense because there's good ideas here. I like that. Like I always like the idea of Dracula being this like, you know, I mean, I like the angle of, oh, it's a doomed romance. And so I kind of like them playing on that. But, you know, they could do it well. You know, like if Twilight had like built up towards something and then been like, yeah, there's no way this shit works out, as opposed to then like 3 books of them being like, well, maybe.
Question, Tim. Question. Take a 90s father, like parent-child movie and inject it into this screenplay right now. 3, 2, 1, go.
I can see that. Maybe like shove in like that 90s Parent Trap.
What about Problem Child?
Problem Child. Jeff, do you just want to insert Problem Child into like any plot? Like,
yes.
Like, you know what? Let's just take out this character and replace him with John Ritter and this piece of shit kid.
The kid was such a piece of shit.
It gets better, right? I mean, to be fair, you could probably just pick any of the movies that are mentioned and be like, but what about if that character is instead John Ritter and a piece of shit kid?
No, you should be inserting, and I don't mean the big red dog. You should be inserting Clifford.
Yes, yes, Martin Short. Short.
I was so excited to see that movie. I don't know why. I don't know.
It's a great movie.
And bless my parents for sitting through that thing.
He's 10 years old in that movie.
Is he? I mean, he's kind of an inhuman monster. Like that. Yeah. I mean, that's the point. He is irredeemable in that film, and like the end of the movie is just like, oh yeah, no, he's just terrible.
It's just so long. I can't tell you the last time I saw that movie. I really got to rewatch it. It's been many years.
I got an answer for you.
Okay.
It's gonna piss people off. Now, first of all, my dream, my pie in the sky is really society. Like I would like to do amazing things with society. But if we're talking about a bad movie, like I said, I'm gonna make somebody mad. I would take Chopping Mall.
Come on.
See, I know everybody liked it. Everybody liked Chopping Mall. I thought Chopping Mall was kind of boring and dumb, and
it could be remade. I'll give it. I will stamp it through. It could be remade. What would you do?
Well, the first thing I would do is I would repopulate it with, and this may be a bet. Whoa.
Sorry, I'm putting the light on you.
I would populate it with the because I was a slacker mall employee many years ago, and those would be my heroes. Would be the young shiftless layabouts who don't give a shit about anything, and sneak out into the maintenance halls to smoke their cigarettes. That was my deal. You know, spending 20 minutes on a trash run when I just took one empty box out to the trash and hung out for a while. That'd be my first big twist. The second is I'd have to fix the robots, because the robots are not at all like I don't know, they're boring. They're big Lost in Space robots that just kind of roll back and forth.
They're
Well,
functioning
we're getting
1980
into,
robots, but in like the real world, which sucks.
We're getting into like androids now, like
Yeah.
it's some
Right.
semi-futuristic where they're almost like taking over for the staff. Like they're
That's I
love that.
It was
Love that.
you know that everybody's seen the GIF a million times. It was like I don't remember what her name was, but it was this robot. Like you would always see the GIF of her with her face on, but she doesn't have like hair, her wig part on, and she was always like answering weird things. I'm picturing something like that.
Westworld.
Kind of. Well, Westworld, I think, is not like
the original.
The
70s.
Oh, you're talking about the 70s.
No, but in shopping malls. So it's like all the mall employees are robots, just like that, and they're just like and then they're the thing happens where they turn and they shoot. They shoot. No, you know what? They don't shoot it out of their eyes. They shoot it out of their mouth.
Okay.
They're just like, oh, and then like,
They should probably actually do some chopping. You should probably remedy that if you're going to remake it. I would strongly recommend.
Wait, so would they look like Edward Scissorhands? They would all look like Edward Scissorhands.
I mean, I'm going to say no to that idea. Also, Steven, I kind of agree with you. Like, I do have fondness for the movie, but I also found it. I think it hits the sweet spot because it's like I have fondness for this. I like the idea, but man, it leaves me wanting. I will say the part that honestly disappointed me the most is we open with a cameo from Paul Bartel and Mary Warnoff, and I'm like, oh, I'm interested in this.
And
it's like
they're out.
What? Oh man,
the Blands show up, and then they're gone. Yeah,
that's a delightful moment. I'm like, oh, okay, and then
I had not watched Eating Raoul before I saw Chopping Mall for the first time. I see everything.
Eating Raoul is so good.
So
you must see. That's a movie that would be a very interesting remake. Okay?
Except I was asking for bad movies, and I think we kind of enjoyed.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I've only seen Chopping Mall once, and I have to tell you, I sat forever as like I just never was interested because I knew it was robots, so I put it off forever. And let me tell you something, I found it to be the most entertaining 77.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought it went
7.
Yeah, it just
God,
goes through.
I would have guessed
by,
like
man.
100, man. I was going to suggest maybe bringing it down to a tight 70, but
you want to know something? I think that it needed more gore. It didn't have enough gore in it, and it's made by a creepy guy, but like I
didn't know.
Yeah, he's kind of a creepy dude from my understanding. But I like the idea of them being more like human, and I would just make them literally Chopping Mall, have it be Edward Scissorhands style-y,
At least some chopping. It doesn't have to be like, oh, bring him over to Edward over there so we can chop him. Aha! But something. Or at least once.
Somebody says, we've got to get out of this Chopping Mall.
I was just thinking about like riffing off you, Jeff, with the mall employees are actually robots. I'm picturing a like a Ginsu store chef going haywire. We could get that in there, man.
Oh my God! Yes, I love that so much. Okay, wait. Ready? Okay, there is a Japanese steakhouse inside there, like Noda's or whatever. Like the type of place where they do the thing. It's the 80s. The movie opens up. The movie opens up with the repairman man who's doing he's fixing the guy. It's the newest futuristic tech, right? Like and he's fixing the guy, and he's getting drunk while he's fixing this. So it's only one robot. So it's like Terminator style. It's not a lot of robots. It's one robot, but it's a robot that chops, which is what Tim wanted. It's a chopping robot. And so the repairman man totally screws this up. Because he's drunk, he switches the red wire to the blue wire.
He accidentally pushes the evil button.
On the Krusty doll. He pushes the evil button, and what happens is the robot turns on and starts just chopping the shit out of this guy. And he's the only technician that could have turned off the robot. So now all the kids are trapped with this robot that's going around chopping people. And of course, when it opens its mouth, it has laser beams for no reason.
For no good reason. Yeah.
For
You could
no
also-
good reason.
You could also go with like a, if you don't want to set in the 80s, although you kind of have to.
It has
if you
to be.
didn't, you could like lean on the death of the mall as like,
Yeah.
it was the cutting edge. We filled it with robot employees, but malls suck now. So yeah, we're basically just going to trash the place.
And they're derelict robots, and then a bunch of punk kids, just like Return of the Living Dead, like, we need a place to party. So they go into the mall.
Yeah. A place that's not a cabin in the woods, a dead mall would be different because they're creepy.
Tim and Brian, great idea. Great idea, guys.
I like the idea of doing it in the 80s just because, like, nowadays when people think 80s, they think like that bisexual blue and pink lighting, and they think of like synth music. My 80s was all like acid wash jeans and like hair metal, So that would be my 80s. Like I do,
It would be nice to take like just be like it's not all. Yeah, it doesn't all look like this. Like it's also
it's not all Nicholas Winding Refn movie, right? Like
wood panel walls. Yeah, exactly. Like it was not that.
It was not. It was more like heavy. It was heavy metal parking lot. That's what it was.
There are so many different ways you could take this, and I love all of them. Like truly, if it was the future, it would work. If it was the 80s, it would work. I love this idea. It's like it's basically turning. It's taking the Terminator, which was already in slasher territory, and just going full slasher with the Terminator via shopping mall.
Gonzo, that's
Great pick. Is this a new game, by the way? Remaking bad movies? That should be a game in this instead of recommendations. I like that. I mean, that's just so like that's like so what's it called? Pedestrian to be like, I watched this week. That's what everybody does. This is creative and interesting and fun, and really gets my brain to like spin its wheels.
So you say that now, but like wait till the next time we do this, and the best we come up with is like, what if Driving Miss Daisy was a slasher? And
dude, you give me any movie. Give me any movie, I will do that. I will fuck that up.
With movies is taking films like that and just switching the genre around. That could be a Blumhouse movie right there.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It could be like what's the one with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx?
Yeah. The Michael Mann movie, right?
Yeah.
So it's so I don't know. You got what's her name? Oh God, who's the one I want to have shots with? She played the Queen, Helen Mirren.
Oh yeah.
Give me Helen Mirren in the back, and she's like a terrorist or some kind of international spy, and she's holding on. She's got like maybe lost someone.
That would totally yes. Steven just miraculously disappeared. I don't know where he went. He's gone. I hope if he comes back, he comes back. If not, we'll end this soon anyway.
He might really like Driving Miss
Daisy. You take the
Daisy.
framework of a Driving Miss Daisy, and then you just like turn it on its ear and make it like Helen Mirren as Daisy.
I love that.
She's a spy of some sort. She's a dangerous spy. Has to be like driven around.
Or what about this, Brian? What about this? It's Driving Miss Daisy, but the driver or whatever is told that Miss Daisy is told to guard Miss Daisy or whatever it is. Miss Daisy turns out to be super evil, and he doesn't realize that until halfway through the movie. And he's like, "Well, I guess that's what Collateral is, right?" Like he doesn't realize that.
Well, in Collateral, he was like a hitman or something. Maybe she could be supernatural. Right. Or something. Maybe she's a vampire. Maybe she's a vampire.
Okay.
Maybe she's
she goes around just sucking blood.
She's an ancient vampire who needs to go around, and
I like that.
She's not as spry, but that's something.
I'd watch it.
I really like this game. This is a fun game. We have to do this again the next time. Whenever we do this, this is what's going down.
I definitely gotta head out though, but
we're gonna end this. Let's call it a night, guys. This was so much fun. I'll be in touch. We'll do it again in the future. Okay.
For sure.
Peace.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great